Good afternoon, Kirtana, everyone. Audible? Yes. I'm good, Anjan. How are you, Anjan? Good. Shifa, I'm also fine. Today, dynamics, yes. Anusha, it will be given. I asked. Yes, yes. Yeah, good. So today, I would like to give you a general timetable also, how to study. Neha was asking, so I thought I will tell the entire class. Okay. Fine, students. So we have to discuss today laws of motion. Laws of motion. Okay. And this was done single-handedly by uh, Ashwini. Yes, sir, please. So we will discuss today laws of motion, and this was basically done single-handedly by one person, and his name was Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, so this guy is behind all the laws of motion that we use even today to launch rockets, to make a design of the circus and all. When you throw a person at some angle, where will he reach? So all those calculations, the kinematics. See, in kinematics, what did we do? In kinematics, we only studied motion. So in kinematics, what we studied was, we said there is a particle. We said there is a particle. Then we attach a scale, and you can call the scale as x-axis. Okay, and you can measure the origin from measure the position from origin, right? So we first have to know the position of the particle. Yes or no? The first thing you should know about motion is position of the particle. Agree or not? Right? Yeah, I'll come to that, Channa. Don't worry. So position. Now, if this position is a function of time, then it becomes interesting, right? Then it becomes interesting. Otherwise, if this position is constant, then it means the particle is at rest with respect to the origin. Now we have learned in relative motion that we must say with respect to something. Yes or no? If a car is moving, its velocity can be different with respect to different observers. Some people may find it moving very fast. Some people may find it moving very slow. Some people may find that same thing is at rest, right? So if this position is constant, then the particle is at rest. Then that is boring. But when the position changes with time, then you know it is moving with respect to this origin. Once it is moving, then we describe velocity, rate of change of position, rate of change of position, right? Then sometimes velocity itself can change. If the person is accelerating, then velocity itself can change. Then we discuss acceleration. So this is what we studied in kinematics. And then we try to find relation between all of them. So we found that relation between all of them is x is equals to ut plus half at square, v equals to u plus at, and then yes, another formula called v square minus u square. But these two are enough. These two are enough to solve the problem. And these two are used when acceleration is what? Constant. Right? If acceleration is changing, then also we can find the displacement. We can find the final velocity, but we have to use integration. That also we have discussed, right? So if acceleration is constant, then this formula of kinematics can be used. Remember or not? So these formulas can be used if acceleration is constant. So if I give you the initial velocity of this particle, if I give you the initial velocity of this particle, then after 5 seconds, after 5 seconds, after 2 seconds, after 3 seconds, if I ask what will be its final velocity, you will use this equation. If I ask where will the particle be, where will the particle be means what? How much displacement the particle has undergone, how much displacement the particle has done, then you will use this equation. Correct or not? Yeah, but in order to use this equation or this equation, in order to know the future of this particle, future, why I'm saying, Array, this is initial velocity. Right now, you know the velocity. Right now, at time 0, you know the velocity. If you want to know the future of the particle, you should know where it is. Where it is, matlab, how far it has gone and how fast it is moving. How fast it is moving, matlab, velocity. So you can find the final velocity and displacement, provided students, you know the acceleration, right? Suppose I say I will not give you acceleration. Will you be able to calculate final velocity? Will you be able to calculate final velocity? No. So without acceleration, these equations are useless. So now comes the dynamics. Matlab, who is changing the velocity? That we have to ask. Who is causing the acceleration? You are understanding? Who is causing the acceleration? That we have to ask now in this chapter. So now in this chapter, you will learn how to calculate acceleration. That is the main thing from forces. So I hope most of you know the answer of this. Who is causing the acceleration? Some force, right? Some force. Agree or not? Right? So now we are going to study the cause of the motion. What made the motion exist? Who changed the velocity? Who caused acceleration? Acceleration matlab change in velocity, remember. So that we have to discuss in this chapter. Now, before Newton, many people did work. Before Newton also. So one person was there. His name was Aristotle. Okay. He thought the natural state of motion is rest. What he thought? The natural tendency, the natural state of a body. Natural state matlab, if you leave the body, in what state it wants to be. He thought the natural state of a body is to be at rest. And that is not wrong. That is correct only. For example, if you keep this marker here, it is at rest. If I move it, it comes to, see, if I move it, it comes to rest. So even if you move it, ultimately the marker comes to rest. So that is why he thought the natural state of a body is to come at rest. But that is not the full story. The full story was found by Galileo. But so let me tell you what Aristotle thought. He thought natural state of a body is to be at rest. Natural state of a body is to be at rest. Matlab, if you don't do anything, the body wants to come to rest. If you want to move the body, you have to apply push or you have to pull. That push or pull in physics we say force. Are you clear, students? Naturally, the body wants to be at rest. But if you want to move the body, then you have to push or pull. That push or pull in physics we say force. But then this is not the whole story. I'm not saying this is wrong. This is not the whole story. But Galileo made this statement even better. He said, natural state of a body is to be at rest or uniform motion in a straight line, or uniform motion in a straight line. So this is addition. This is something Galileo added. Aristotle. Thank you, Nampita. So Galileo added this part also. He said the natural state of a body is to be at rest, or it is to be moving uniformly. Uniformly matlab without change in velocity, remember. Uniformly in a straight line. So this was added by Galileo. Now, if you read these two, you feel like Aristotle is more correct. Yes or no? You feel like Galileo is not that much correct, because if you push something, let me try to draw. So imagine this is the floor, and I keep a block on this floor. Now, if I don't push or if I don't pull, you know it remains at rest. So right now, Aristotle is also correct, Galileo is also correct. But if you push it, if you push once, stuck like that, and then you leave, you know it will start moving. So it will start moving. But does it continue to move uniformly in a straight line? Does it continue to move uniformly in a straight line? No. The reason why it is no, students, is because there is friction. And friction is also a force. It is also a force, remember, which acts in opposite direction to the motion. Let me get one marker, okay? In the meantime, you can write. So usually in our daily life, there will always be some friction between surfaces, and friction is another topic which we have to discuss in detail. So more about friction you will learn in this class, don't worry. But right now you should understand that friction is also a force which acts in the direction opposite. And it is because of this friction that the body actually comes to rest. That's why Galileo never thought about this. Galileo thought that the bodies are coming to rest by themselves. You are understanding? Oh, sorry. Aristotle thought that the body is coming to rest by itself. No, it is not coming by rest by itself. It is because of the friction. You are understanding? If you can somehow remove the friction, let us say, if you make it very smooth, ideally we can practically we cannot make friction zero, but theoretically if you imagine, if you make the friction zero, then this body will keep moving uniformly in a straight line. If you can remove the friction, and you can test this, you can test. What you can do is, you can first make the floor very rough, then you allow the body to move. It will move for some time and stop. Now make it little bit smooth. Now make it little bit smooth, and then you make the body move. It will go farther, or it will go less farther, or same distance. If you make it more smooth, if you make it, it will go farther. So that means what? That means if you reduce the friction, it was able to go farther. That means if you completely remove the friction, what will happen? It will keep moving. It will keep moving. Are you understanding? Non-stop. Very good. It will keep moving without stopping. So that is where Aristotle missed and Galileo understood that actually the natural state of a body, is either to be at rest if it is already at rest, but if it is moving and there is no forces acting, friction also should not be there, because friction is also force. So if you remove all the forces, all the pushes and pulls, if you remove all the pushes and pulls from different sources, gravity, friction, if you remove everything, then the body will actually move in a straight line uniformly throughout time. non-stop. So that is the natural state actually. So the natural state is actually to be at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line. Understood, students? Aristotle forgot that there is friction also. It is because of friction that it is coming to rest. By itself, it is not coming to rest. By itself, it doesn't want to come to rest. Okay, by itself, it doesn't want to come to rest. But because there is friction, it is forced to come to rest. Is it clear, everyone? Clear or not? Okay, so this is how, this is wrong. This is partially right. This is partially right. And this is right. So you should remember this. Okay, again and again, I am saying to you, all of you, the natural state of a body is either to be at rest or uniform motion in a straight line. If you want to change this state, then you need external force. Then you need some force. Otherwise, this is the natural state. Once we have understood this, okay, written. Okay. Now the second question that I used to have in my mind is, how did Galileo come to know that a body moving in a straight line will continue to move? How he came to know? Because in our natural world, there is always friction. Yes or no? In our natural world, there is always friction. So we have never seen a body moving in a straight line uniformly. Ultimately, it will hit something and stop. Ultimately, it will experience a force and stop. Correct now? So how he actually came to know? That was done by Galileo, of course, himself, by doing something called thought experiment. So Galileo's thought experiment. So listen carefully, all of you. So how Galileo came to know about the fact that a body in motion will continue to be in the same motion if there are no forces, including friction. Remember, when I say there are no forces, friction also should not be there. Clear or not? When I say there are no forces, friction also should not be there. So what Galileo did? So what he did was, he took some kind of pavement, some kind of road, okay, a curved surface like this, curved surface. And then he imagined, if you drop a ball from here, from some height, then you all know it will come down because of gravity. It will come down because of gravity. Yeah, gravity will be there. I'm saying when nothing is there, ma. Sujal, why are you stuck with gravity is there, gravity is there? I'm saying when there are no forces, the body will move in a straight line uniformly. If gravity is there, then it will not move in a straight line. Correct or not? You have seen already, if you throw a body like this, does it go in a straight line? If you throw a body like this, does it go in a straight line like this uniformly? No, because of gravity, it goes in parabola. But today students, we have been able to go to outer space also. So if you someday become an astronaut and you go outside and you throw something like this, it will go uniformly in a straight line because there are no external forces, no planets, no stars. If you go very outer space, I'm saying. So in such environment, people have already seen that a body moving in a straight line will continue to move uniformly without change in the velocity. Okay. So how Galileo came to know was, he thought, if you drop this body from here, then immediately what will happen? It will come down. As it comes down here, it will gain some velocity. And because of the velocity, it will continue to move. But once it is going up, gravity is down. So once it starts moving up, it will slow down. And if there is no friction, between the ball and the floor, then it will reach the same height. If there is no friction. If there is friction, then what happens? Usually there will be friction. No, usually there will be friction. So if you take your ball at house, you have ball, right? There, if you drop a marble, it will go to less height. Then next time less height. Then next time less height. So whatever potential energy was there, ultimately it will be lost to heat because there is friction. But Galileo is thinking, if there is no friction, then what? Then no energy will be lost. So whatever potential energy was there, same potential energy must be conserved. Understood? If there is no friction. Okay, so this is without friction. If friction is 0. Okay, then what he thought is, suppose he makes this surface like this. And he drops the ball from the same height. Sir, when it comes down, then it should be at rest now. No, it has already gained velocity. No, Rukia. Already it is gaining velocity. So if you are falling down, do you stop anywhere? Tell me. If you are falling down, do you stop anywhere? Because when you are falling down, because of gravity, you are moving faster. So as you are falling down, you are moving faster and faster. So why will you stop? Correct or not? When you are going up, that time you are going slower and slower. So then it will stop. Understood, right? Correct now? Okay. So this ball will reach the same height here. Now, if you make this surface like this, then see what will happen. The ball will go like this and it will try to reach the same height. So it will go up to here. Correct or not? So if you make the surface like this, it will try to go up to this point because it has to gain the same height. Right? Okay. If you further make the surface like this, then what will happen? It will try to go like this and it will reach the same height. If you make the surface further like this, it will go like this and then reach this height. Which means if you make the surface flat, then what? Then it will keep moving in search of that height. Correct? If you make it flat, then it will keep moving in search of that height. So what he understood was, what Galileo understood was, if you keep the ball, if you keep the marble here like this, if you keep the marble here like this, if you leave the marble at rest, then it will remain at rest, no doubt. Yes or no? If you keep the marble at rest, then it will remain at rest. But if you drop the marble from here, then by the time it reaches here, it will have some velocity. By the time it reaches here, it will have some velocity. Channa already has explained that from here to here, potential energy will be converted to kinetic energy from here to here. Yes or no? So now, since this, from our experiment, what we have understood, that as I make the surface more and more like this, the body tries to reach the same height. So if the surface is flat, it will keep moving forever and ever. It will keep moving forever and ever, searching for that height. And that is how he understood that if a body is moving and there is no friction, the body will keep moving in the same straight line. So there is a topic called Aristotle's fallacy. Aristotle's fallacy. The word fallacy means false belief. False belief. Okay. So what Aristotle thought, he thought natural state of the body is to be only at rest, which is not correct, remember, which is not 100% correct. If it is at rest, then yes, it will remain at rest. But if it is moving, it will continue to move even without forces. Even without any forces, it will continue to move forever and ever in the same straight line with the same velocity. So natural state of the body is to be either at rest or uniform motion in a straight line. But what Aristotle thought was, he thought to move a body, uniformly, we need net external force. So this is what he thought, which is completely wrong. That is why it is Aristotle's fallacy. So for 1 mark, if they ask Aristotle's fallacy, mention this. To move a body uniformly, he thought we need net external force. Whereas the correct answer is what? To move something uniformly, do you need any force? To move something uniformly? No. Of course, if there is friction, look here. If there is friction here, then yes, to make this body move uniformly, then you need to apply force. If there is friction, you need to apply same force in opposite direction. But if there are no forces, then you don't need any external force to make a body move uniformly. So mention this. This is called Aristotle's fallacy. Done? Okay. So one thing very important you guys have to keep remembering is the natural state of a body is to be either at rest if it is already at rest or moving in uniformly in a straight line. The first part I know you guys will easily remember. Second part you guys may forget. And even if you know, you may not be able to apply it. So I want you guys to give a little bit of importance to that second part. That to move something uniformly in a straight line, the net force required is 0. You don't need any total force to make a body move. Please keep that in your mind. Okay. So now we have told that by itself, the body does not want to change its state of rest or uniform motion. That property of the body is what we call inertia. So if they ask you what is inertia, it is the property of a body due to which it maintains its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line is called inertia. Okay, so this is the property of a body due to which it maintains its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line is called inertia. So the more inertia you have, the more will be your tendency to be at rest if you are already at rest, and if you are moving, you want to continue to move. That you have that property, that intrinsic property of every body, that is called inertia. Later in the course, you will come to know that mass is a measure of inertia. Mass is a measure of inertia. So a 5 rupees coin will have more inertia than 1 rupee coin. Understood? What that means is, if you keep 1 rupee coin and you put 5 rupee coin, in 5 rupee coin, it will be more difficult to move compared to in 1 rupee coin. Understood? You will need more force in 5 rupee coin. And that means 5 rupee coin will be, it wants to stay at rest more. Since it wants to stay at rest more, it will be difficult for somebody to change that. So that want, that ichha in Hindi we say ichha, okay? So the want to stay at rest or the want to move uniformly, that is more if your mass is more. For example, if a very heavy object is moving and a very small object is moving, it is always easy to stop the small one. It is difficult to stop the heavy one. Yes or no? So the heavier one wants to continue. So it has more inertia. Okay. So let me give you some simple examples which you may have learned in school already. So if this is a bus, okay, and you are sitting here, then right now let us say the bus is at rest. Right now the bus is at rest. Now when the bus suddenly starts, to move, these tires and this body will move. So this seat will move. So seat will move means the lower part of your body. The lower part of your body is in contact with the seat, right? So the lower part once will start moving, but upper part, this upper part will think, "Arey, I was at rest. I want to be at rest." Are you understanding? Inertia. I am at rest. I want to be at rest. So what happens is the lower part starts moving and upper part stays there only. So what happens is the upper part stays here and the lower part starts going this side. So this is what happens when it moves slightly this side. Okay, so this is what happens when you see from the ground. But from somebody here, if you see, you will see this person is going back. Yes or no? For this person will seem to go backwards. Understood? No. So this is actually inertia of rest. The upper part wants to be at rest only. Lower part, because it is in contact with seat, so the seat will apply force. So the seat will apply force to the lower part. So the lower part wants to move. Upper part was at rest, so it wants to continue to be at rest. So during for small interval of time, he may fall backwards. Then now it is not like that lower part will stay. It is not like the lower part will go and upper part will stay here only, because there is forces between different parts of the body also, right? So ultimately the lower part will pull the upper part. Ultimately the lower part will pull the upper part ultimately, but for short duration the upper part will try to maintain its state of rest. So during that time the lower part will go forward, upper part will stay here only. So this person will feel this person is going backwards. Understood? Okay. So this is because of inertia of rest. Okay. Similarly, now think the lower part has pulled the upper part and now they are moving together uniformly. So now this bus is moving. And now this person will not fall backward because now the lower part has pulled the upper part. So now all the parts are moving together with the bus. Okay. Now suddenly the bus stops. Now when suddenly the bus stops, what happens? The lower part will stop because the lower part is contact with bus with the seat. So lower part will stop, but upper part, because of inertia of motion, there are two kinds of inertia. Remember, one is inertia of rest, one is inertia of motion. So because upper part was moving till now upper part was moving or not. So it wants to continue. So lower part has come to rest because the bus has come to rest. So the seat has come to rest and the lower part is in contact with the seat. So lower part will come to rest immediately. Upper part will try to continue. So what will happen is this person from his frame, he will see this person is falling forward. Understood, students? He will hit the front of the seat. Okay. So two examples I gave you. First one was example of inertia of rest. Since all these are not in this your exam point of view, I'm not giving you notes in this, but just explaining. It's okay, right? If you want to read, you will find in EPL. You will find in EPL. So I have given you first one was example of inertia of rest. Second one was example of inertia of motion. Then there is inertia of direction also. Why direction? Because what we learned from Galileo's experiment, a body wants to continue its state of uniform motion in a what line? Straight line. So if you want to change that straight line, listen carefully. If you want to change that straight line motion, then also you need to apply force. If you don't apply force, it will try to continue in the same straight line. It will try to continue in the same straight line. So now I will give you example of inertia of direction. So imagine this is bus. And I'm showing you the top view, okay? So you have to imagine that the ceiling of the bus is made of glass so that you can see the inside. So top view. This is the seat. Now let's say this person is sitting here. This is the head of the person, head, okay? You can see only the head now, okay? Now, suppose this bus is going like this. Then this person also will go like this. Correct na? Till now, correct or not? If bus is going like this person is also going like this. Now, suppose there is a turning. Suppose there is a turning. So now, as the turn will come, the bus will turn. As the road will turn, the driver will try to turn the bus. So the bus will go something like this. Okay, so the seat will be somewhere here now. This seat will be somewhere here now. Okay. So let me not reach directly that point. So let's say he has turned the bus something like this. Now see what is going to happen. This bus is turning, but this person, assume the friction is very less right now. Otherwise, the friction will hold the person. Imagine there are no frictional forces on the person. Then that person will continue to move in the same straight line. He doesn't care what the bus is doing. You are understanding? So as the bus is turning, this person will go like this, straight line. So he will be thrown. If you see from here, this person was this side. Now he is this side. You are understanding? So he will be thrown away from the center. If the bus is turning this way, he will be thrown that side. If this was open, he will go outside. If this was open, he will go outside. But actually what is happening? He is trying to maintain his direction. The bus is turning. But he is trying to maintain his direction. So he is trying to go straight only, but bus is turning. So what happens? He touches the far end of the bus, the far end. Are you understanding, students? Okay, so that's why people put what? People put belt and all. So if people put belt and all, very good. So people put belt and all so that the belt will exert force, and that belt will not allow you to maintain your inertia, whether it is inertia of motion or inertia of direction. Artha, understood everyone? Okay. Okay. So from ground, you will see this person going straight only. But people inside will feel that that person who was thrown, they will feel that this person has been thrown outward. So they will give a name to that force. Have you heard of that force? It is called centrifugal force. Centrifugal force, which is actually not a force. About that I will teach you later. Centrifugal force is actually a pseudo force. Pseudo force matlab false force, which I will teach you later. Inertia is in space only it is possible. No, in space only all this can be seen more nicely, because in our daily life though there is walls and all, wall is there, gravity is there, friction is there, so many forces act on us, so we are not able to show our natural state. Are you understanding? We are not able to show our natural state. But if imagine gravity was not there, air resistance was not there, friction was not there, then the world will be so wonderful. I don't know whether to call it wonderful or bad. For example, imagine this bus is moving with 10 meter per second. You are inside the bus. Now when you come out, you will continue to move with 10 meter per second. You will continue to move with 10 meter per second. No, there is no friction in space. Few molecules are there, very few molecules. It is empty space. So this person will continue to move with 10 meter per second. So imagine bus is moving, you come out of the bus, you will continue to move with the bus without touching the floor also. If gravity was not there. Since gravity is there, what happens? You will fall down and then you will hit the road. Once you hit the road, there'll be friction. There'll be friction, right? Yes or no? There'll be friction. No, just to show you, I'm saying, just to show you example of if gravity was not there, friction was not there, other forces were not there, our world would be very like, no, everything would be moving in motion in a straight line. Okay. Fine. So I think I have given you enough examples of inertia. Okay. So now let us talk about some definite quantity. So let us discuss Newton's first law. So whatever Galileo did that thought experiment, that Newton converted into his first law. So actually it is Galileo's law of inertia. So Newton's first law says a body continues to be at rest, or this or is very important, okay, or. This is very easy to understand, but this part also I am trying to make you guys understand, okay? Or uniform motion in a straight line until and unless an external unbalanced force acts on the body. Okay, so a body continues to be at rest if it is already at rest, or it continues to move uniformly until and unless there is an external unbalanced force acting on the body. So if you want to change the state of rest or uniform motion, you will have to apply force. So Newton's first law gives meaning to what? It gives meaning to force. Done? Okay. Channa, finished writing part? Channa? Okay. So what this law says is it gives meaning to force. So imagine a body is moving right now with 10 meter per second. Okay. If nothing is done, nothing, no gravity, no Pankaj sir can also apply force. It is called contact force. So I will talk about non-contact, contact, everything. Don't worry. So if no forces are applied, after some time, what will be the velocity? If nothing is done, it will be same. It will be same. That is the main thing we have learned. Suhas is saying 0. How it is 0? Who made the velocity 0? Force only. But I told if there are no forces, then what will happen? It will continue to move uniformly, right? So it will continue. Now, suppose I apply force in the same direction. Then after some time, if after, yeah, but I said if there are no forces, no, ayo Rama. Retards matlab what? Retards matlab there has to be force in opposite direction. Retards matlab there has to be force in opposite direction. Friction has to be there. Some wind resistance should be there. If I say there are no forces means no forces, no, nothing. Then this body will continue. Surya, understood? Okay. Now if you apply force in the same direction, this body will move faster after some time. So it may be 15 or 20 or something, but it will be more than 10. So this is one thing force can do. So force can increase velocity. Understood? This is one thing force can do. Yeah. So this is one thing force can do. It can increase velocity. Another thing force can do. This is what forces can do. Okay, what force can do. Another thing is, suppose it is moving with 10 meter per second. But suppose you apply force in opposite direction. Okay, this happens when? This happens when a body is falling down or not. No force means it will continue to move with same velocity. Wait. Priyanka, no force means you are saying no force means it will be less than 10. Why? What is the natural state I told? Did you hear properly when I was discussing about Galileo's experiment? Natural state of a body is to move uniformly in a straight line. Uniformly in a straight line means if you are moving with 10 meter per second and no forces act on you, you will continue to move with 10 meter per second. Understood? That is the meaning of natural state. No, natural state means when nothing is acting on me, what will I do? That is my natural state. And Galileo found from his experiment that natural state of a body is to move uniformly. Only when forces act, depending on the direction or magnitude, the body will change its state because the force will force it to change. That's why it is called force. No, it will force it to change. Your natural state may be to sleep at home, but parent will apply force. Tomorrow exam is there, study. So it changes your state. Correct or not? It changes your state. Correct? No? Okay. So if I apply force in opposite direction, then the body will move 5 meter per second. Listen. So one very important thing you have to learn from here is just because force is here, that doesn't mean the body will move back. Understood or not? It depends on initial velocity. If initial velocity was this side and force is here, then it doesn't mean immediately it will stop. It will continue for some time. Understood or not? Correct na? Okay. So imagine, suppose a bullet is coming towards me. If I do like this, it will not stop. No, it will not go back. So just because I apply force, it doesn't mean the body will move that way only. It depends on what the body was doing initially. So if initially, imagine if initially the body was at rest. Imagine the body was at rest initially, then no problem. Then if you apply force here, then the body will start moving this side with some velocity, 2 meter per second. Are you understanding, students, this part? Similarly, if it was at rest, matlab it doesn't have any inertia of motion. Matlab it has no feeling of going this side. It is at rest. I have no feeling to go that side. Then wherever force will apply, there he will go. But here he has already feeling to go this side. See, 10 meter per second. So even if force will act, immediately he will not stop my tendency, my inertia. I still have that want, that ichha to continue. So the force will kill my ichha for some time. Up to that time, I will continue. Then ultimately my velocity will become what after some time? 10 meter per second, 5 meter per second, then how much? 3 meter per second, and finally 0. Then I will follow what the force will say. Then I will follow what the force will say. But for some time, if already I have inertia of motion, if I have motion, then I will try to continue that. Like if you are at rest, then though you don't have any inertia of motion. Then if I apply force this way, you will go that side. Okay, so try to understand this properly. Third diagram is, now look carefully here. If force is parallel to velocity, the body is moving faster. If force is opposite to velocity, the body is moving slower. This is example. The example of this you will find when a body is falling down. Yes or no? When a body is falling down, velocity is down, gravity force is also down. So it will move faster and faster. Similarly, when you throw a body up, when it is going up, velocity is up, but force of gravity is always down. So what happens? It slows down. Correct now? Yeah. Now, try to listen carefully. If the body wants to go this side, inertia of motion is this side, but suppose I apply force this side, perpendicular to velocity. Now listen carefully, all of you. Does this force have any component this side? No. Does this force have any component this side? No. So this force will neither increase the speed it cannot increase. This force cannot decrease the speed. So this force cannot increase the speed also. Speed matlab it cannot make the body move faster. So if it is 10 meter per second, next moment it will remain same only. But this force will change the direction. So the body will go this way. When the body reaches here, let us say the force is still acting this way. And body wants to move along the path, tangent to the path. So when it reaches here, if the force is still perpendicular to velocity, I'm saying if the force is still perpendicular to velocity, can this force make it move faster or slower? No. But it will change direction. Something though it has to do. Force has to change velocity. No, velocity is vector. So if it is not able to change magnitude, it will change what? If it is not able to change magnitude, it will change direction. So the body wants to go here. Force is saying, no, come here. So it will go somewhere here. When it reaches here, if the force is still acting perpendicular to velocity, I hope all of you remember velocity is always drawn tangent to the path. Remember or not? So if your path is circle, velocity is always tangent, instantaneous velocity. Okay, instantaneous velocity is always along tangent to the path. Remember, right, guys? Already I've explained. Okay, fine. So again, because of velocity, it wants to continue here. Force is this side. So what will happen? It will go somewhere here. When it reaches here, if I say the force is still this side, perpendicular to its tangent, then again it will try to go. It wants to go here. I want to go here. Force is saying, no, come here. So what happens is I turn like this. So basically what I'm trying to explain to all of you is, if you are moving in a circular path, such that At every point, the force is perpendicular to velocity. At every point. Are you understanding, students? You can draw here and here also. So the point is, if the force is at every point, if the force is perpendicular to velocity, then it will neither move faster nor it will move slower, but its direction will keep changing. See, direction will keep changing. Yes or no? Okay, so what you have learned, force can increase your speed, force can decrease your speed, and force can also change your direction. So make a note of all this. So here, this is example of what? Uniform circular motion. The word uniform only means the speed is constant. The word uniform only means the speed is constant, not direction. Okay, so velocity vector is not constant. Only speed is constant. Because of gravity. Earth is there, no? In space, satellite is there, but Earth is also there, right? Tanushri, you are not taking the satellite very far away from all the planets. When I say outer space, no, outer space, it means far away from solar system and everything. Okay. So like this example, can you tell me some example of this? Example of this? Yes. If this is Earth, Sun is somewhere here. So Earth has a velocity this side. Gravitational force is towards the center of the Sun. So it keeps moving in a circular path. Yes or no? Every point you can draw. Similarly, you can give me one more example. Electron, nucleus. So electron may be moving this side, but the force of this positive charge will ask the electron to go in a circle. Are you understanding? Yeah, you can tie a thread and rotate a stone also. We will talk about those later. Okay. So first law is clear or not clear, everyone? A body at rest will remain at rest. A body in uniform motion will also remain in uniform motion until and unless we apply force. If you apply force, three things can happen. It can move faster, matlab its speed will increase. It will move slower, its speed will decrease. Or sometimes the speed will neither increase nor decrease. It will only change direction. Sometimes combination can happen. You want to know about that also? Shall I tell you now only? Okay, let me tell you now. So sometimes what will happen is when the body is here, its velocity is this side, force is this side. So at this moment, its velocity will not try to change. Sorry, speed will not try to change. But because of this force, it will turn. The moment it turns, if when the body reaches here, if velocity is this side, velocity is always along tangent, and force is not this side. Let me use red color for force. Let me use red color for force. So if the force here is this side only. Oh, now you see students. Now is this perpendicular? Is this 90 degree? No. So now you can see this force will have two components. If I show separately, this force will have one component here, one component here. Correct now? So this component will try to make it move in a, this component will try to change the direction. And this component will try to increase the speed. Understood, students? Because this part, if you look carefully, this part is like saying body is moving with velocity v, force is in the same direction. So this component of the force is in the same direction of velocity, right? So this component will try to make the body move faster, and this component will try to change the direction also. You understood what I'm trying to say? So this is an example of what? Anyone knows example of this? Already we have done. This is an example of projectile motion. So in projectile motion, when the body goes like this, at this point velocity may be here, at this point velocity may be here, but the force at this point velocity may be here, but the force of gravity is where? Force of gravity is always where? Down. Force of gravity is always down. So you can see here the component of force will be one this side, one this side. These are the components. So this component will try to make the body move faster because this component of the force is in the same direction. And this component is perpendicular. So this component will try to change the direction. Similarly, this force will have two components, one here, one here. Correct or not? This component will try to increase the speed or decrease the speed. It will decrease the speed because this component is opposite to velocity. Are you understanding, students? Okay. So this is an example where the particle is moving in a arc, but at the same time speed is also changing. Speed is also changing, direction is also changing. This is example of that. So here both speed and direction changes. Sir, why you didn't tell us this during projectile motion? How will I say? First I have to talk about force, no? Understood or not? Once I talk about force, then I can discuss all this with you guys. Correct? Huh? Okay. Fine. Let us now do something which is little bit theoretical. These are all applications. Okay, what force can do. So for half an hour, I am just talking about what force can do. No, Ravi. Later I will give more examples because when you do numericals, no more examples you will see. Don't worry. Yeah, pendulum also can be example. Now let us discuss about Newton's second law. Newton's first law tells us what force can do, right? It tells us that if no forces are acting, the body will continue its state of either rest or uniform motion in a straight line. But if you apply force, that state will change, correct? Second law will tell you how much force you have to apply, how much matlab what, formula you need or not. First law only tells you what force will do, Second law will give you formula. Okay, so let us try to now first discuss momentum. It is also called linear momentum. Okay, but if I say only momentum, it means linear momentum. It is a vector quantity. So first of all, it is a vector quantity. Definition already we have discussed, so I will not waste our time. Momentum of a body P bar is nothing but product of mass into velocity. Product of mass into velocity. What will be the SI unit? Mass is kg, velocity is meter per second. Already I have discussed about momentum in detail while studying thermodynamics. Yes or no? So write down the formula and the SI unit. Done. Okay. Now, once you have understood momentum, now we can talk about Newton's second law. So these laws are very important because all the problem solving depends on whether you have understood the laws or not. Many people still think that Newton's first law means a body at rest remains at rest. Only that they understand. But I want all my students to understand, and my previous, your seniors, everyone has understood. So whoever I am teaching, I want you guys to be very, very careful about that. That natural state of your body is not just rest. Natural state of your body is uniform motion in a straight line. To change that, you need force. Newton's second law, it says the net external force. Each word is very important. Okay, net external. So the net external force on a body is equal to rate of change of momentum of the body. When I say rate, it means with respect to time. So it says the net external force on a body is equal to rate of change of momentum of the body with respect to time. Mathematically, how will you write? Mathematically, net external force. So let us write F. Now, later I will start using this symbol. What is the meaning of this summation sign? Total. It means total force. Understanding? Okay. But right now, let me write only F. So please understand, when I write F here, this represents the net force. So if there is only one force, no problem. Write that force here. But if there are more than one force, sometimes more than one force can act on a body. Yes or no? Imagine this is a block. Imagine this is a block. I have tied a string. And I'm pulling the string. Pankaj sir is pulling the string. So many forces will be acting on this block. Later, I will talk about what are the forces in our day-to-day life which acts on bodies. In detail, we will study one by one. But right now, let me just give you an example. As the body moves, there will be one force of gravity, one force friction. Then there will be this force because of my pull, that is called tension force. Then this ground will also exert a force, that is called normal force. So many forces can act on a body. Just example I'm giving. Individually, I will teach you what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this. Don't worry. But as an example, I'm telling you, so many forces can act on a body in a given situation. Understanding? Okay. So whenever you apply Newton's second law, you must understand this F which I write, this F, this is the net external force. External means the force on the body should be from somebody outside the body. So if I do like this, the force which I am applying on the pen, that is external force for the pen. Understood, right? Okay. So the force, the total external force is equal to what? Rate of change of momentum. How do you write rate of change of momentum? dP by dt. This is your rate of change of momentum. This is your instantaneous force. Everybody clear with dy by dx? No, dy by dx means rate of change of y with respect to x. This is rate of change of momentum with respect to time. Okay. Sometimes this formula also will be useful. Average force. So if you don't want to talk about instantaneous force, but average force, then you can write this dP as delta P and dt is delta T, which you can further write T2 minus T1, and delta T you can write as just T. If you want, you write T2 minus T1, no problem. But when I write T here, it means T is time taken from 0 to T. Understood, students? When I write delta T equals to T, it means what? I am writing T minus 0. Okay, so T matlab time taken from 0 to T. So this is useful when they will give you initial momentum, final momentum, substitute the values. Here though you cannot substitute. No, here we have to do derivation. Correct or not? Wait, derivation formulas you forgot. What is dx power n by dx? Dx power n by dx, quickly. Dx power, super. Nx power n minus 1. So if you want to use this formula, you have to do derivation, and that will give you instantaneous force. This will give you instantaneous force, matlab force at a time. This will give you average force. Now, when can I say average force is same as instantaneous force? When can I say average marks is same as marks of one student? When the force is constant, right? Yes or no? When the force is constant. When all the marks are same. Matlab in this case, don't say marks, I'm talking about force. So if force is constant, there will be many examples of constant force. Then there is no need to differentiate this one and this one. Then you can say average force is same as instantaneous force. Okay. So this is mathematical statement of Newton's second law. Another way of writing Newton's second law is something which we have to derive. So that is called derive F equal to ma using Newton's second law. So this is the one that we will be using more in our numerical. This also we will use, but this is more we will be using. Okay, students? So let us derive this formula. From Newton's second law, we know that the force, and again I'm telling, this force represents, let me write down somewhere, this force represents net external force. So the net external force on a body is given by what? Rate of change of momentum of the body with respect to time. This is the statement of Newton's second law. Now, what is the definition of momentum at a particular time? Momentum at a particular time is mass into velocity at that time. Yes or no? Momentum at any particular time is mass into velocity at that particular time. So substitute here, putting in equation 1. So if I substitute in equation 1, the force will be equal to d by dt of momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. Now, in the problems that we will be discussing, the mass will be taken as constant. So if this is the block which is moving with velocity v, and I'm applying some forces, and I'm trying to know how the velocity will change. During that interval of time, Newton assumed the mass will remain constant. What will remain constant? Mass will remain constant. Of course, there are systems where mass changes. For example, rockets. When rockets are going up, mass is changing or not changing? The gases are coming out. No, gases are coming out. So that is called variable mass system. That one I teach for only JEE advanced students. So if the mass is constant, if mass m is constant, okay, then I can take this mass outside. That is what I have taught you in differentiation. If there is a constant, we can take it outside. And what is rate of change of velocity? What is rate of change of velocity? Acceleration. Okay. So for exam purpose, this way, if you write, it is enough. This is how you should write Newton's second law. But for our purpose, okay, so the best way to remember Newton's second law is summation of all the external forces equal to mass of the body into acceleration of the body. Okay. So whenever you write Newton's second law, I want you to think this quantity on the left side represents the total external force, and that is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is what I call the cause, and this is what I call the effect. Understanding, students, this part, that the cause is the force, and because of the force, the velocity of the body changed. Velocity of the body changed, matlab what? There is acceleration. Correct na? Correct na? Okay. So this is the cause, this is the effect. So sometimes if you want to know the acceleration, you can write like this. Okay, so this way also you can write. No. Integration you cannot use because the forces may not be continuously acting on the body. If the force is acting continuously, it is external force on the body. So if you take Pankaj sir as the body. So this M is my mass. Now you want to know my acceleration, let us say. Then what you have to find? The total force acting on me. So one force is gravity. One force is Stalin is applying one force Channa is applying. Correct na? So we have to add three forces. So it is not continuous. So we should not use integration. Understanding, Stalin? It is discrete forces. So one force, two force, three force. So you have to add the three forces. Force can never be infinite. Okay. So Newton's first law told us that a body in uniform motion or at rest continues to do the same thing until we apply a force. Second law told us that if you apply forces, then the velocity will change. And if velocity will change, there will be acceleration. Yes or no? And how to calculate the acceleration? He gave you the recipe. So the recipe to calculate the acceleration is find all the forces acting on the body, add all the forces, divide by the mass. That will give you acceleration. However, students, in one dimension now, first few problems we will do for one dimension only. In such cases, you can only write Newton's second law like this. No need to write bar, no need to put vector sign. Understood? So this is the total force in this direction. This is the acceleration in this direction. This is the total force in this direction. Acceleration will be also in that direction. But in higher dimension, 2 dimension, you have to write this formula like this. Summation of all the external forces along x equal to mass into acceleration along x, and summation of all the external forces along y equal to mass into acceleration along y. Now, why it is very important to understand it is external? Why Newton told external only? To analyze that, look here. Imagine this is a box containing some molecules. Okay. Now the molecules are heating each other. So during the time they heat each other, that time they exert force on each other. Yes or no? Bang. Yeah, like that. Right. So now, if I take this body as my system, matlab, I want to apply Newton's second law to this body. Then if I keep a container with some gas inside or water also, no problem. Take some water also, no problem. Then between the molecules, when they heat each other, there will be forces. There will be forces when they heat each other. If it is ideal gas, you may say, sir, in ideal gas, you told intermolecular force is 0. I know, but when they collide, that time they will exert force. Or you consider water, no problem. Water is not ideal gas. Water is ideal gas, huh? No. So in water, between water molecules, there are forces or not? If there was no force between water molecules, then the water will just go everywhere. Molecules will go just everywhere, right? Yes or no, students? Yeah. So because of the forces between the particles inside the body, because of these forces, which are called internal forces, do you think because of these forces, this body will accelerate? Will this body accelerate because of internal forces? Obviously, no, sir. If it was yes, then it should accelerate now also. Why it is not accelerating? Correct, na? So please remember, if you want the center of the body of this, for example, you take Pankaj sir. So this is my center of mass. Center of mass concept will be in the 4th or 5th chapter. I will teach, don't worry. If you want my center of mass to move, then there has to be external force. External force. I cannot apply force on myself and walk. That is not possible. So to understand how I am able to walk, because when you walk, you are changing your state of rest. Yes or no? Right now I am at rest. Now I am moving. See? So I change my state of rest or not? I change my velocity. So if I change my velocity, then there is acceleration. If I change my velocity, there is acceleration. If there is acceleration, Newton told there should be external force on me, external force. But when I'm walking alone only. I'm not asking somebody to please apply external force on me. No, I have to go that side. I don't do that. I walk myself only. So how it is working? To understand that, we have to learn the third law. So in the third law, which you all guys know already, what I do? I push the ground back. Yes or no? Not friction. I push the ground. Friction will come later. First, you try to understand. You will push the ground back. And when you push the ground back, the ground will exert force on you. So this force is on Pankaj sir by ground. So since it is by ground, it is external or not? It is external or not? And because this external force is acting on me, there will be one component of this. One component will fight with gravity, and this component will take me this side. Understood? No. So please understand, for anything to move, you need external force. You need external force. I still remember, students, one of the person, I will not tell the name, used to answer that physics cannot be applied to human beings. That is completely nonsense. Physics cannot be applied to human beings means what? It is laws of physics. It is applicable everywhere, everywhere. So the reason why I am able to walk is because I am pushing the ground back, and the ground will exert force on me front. That is called Newton's third law, which I think tomorrow only Monday only we will discuss. But the component of that force makes me go forward. Understood? Everyone understood, no, right? Okay. So now I will ask you one CET questions. In CET one question was asked. I will ask that you guys try to answer. The question was, a student, listen carefully. The question is like this only. A student unable to understand Newton's law pulls his hair upward. Will his center of mass go up? That was the question. A student unable to understand Newton's second law pulls his hair upward. Will his center of mass go up? No, sir. Very good. Most of you are saying no. Very good. Because that is what force? If I pull my hair, there is what force? Internal or external? Internal. Internal force will not make my center of mass go up. It will not accelerate my center of mass. Now, one of the students, no, he did like this. He told, no, sir, see, I am able to do, see, sir, see like this. No, that is because he is pushing the ground. You should not push the ground. If you push the ground, your body will go up. No. Yes or no, students? If you push the ground, then ground will push you. That is external force. The question was, simply by pulling his hair, will he be able to raise his center of mass? Answer is no. If he pushes the ground, then yes, ground will push him this way. So that force will take him up. You all know, if you want to jump, what do you do? Like this you do, right? What am I doing? When I do like this, what am I doing? Tell me. I'm pushing the ground more hard. So the more hard I will push the ground will push me more hard. That is Newton's third law. For every action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. So this we will study Monday class. Fine? Thank you. Thanks, Neha. I think it was Neha only. Who told? Oh, Akshara. Thank you, Akshara. Chalo, bye. Timings, which timings? So will the timings be reduced? I don't know. Okay. Whatever time they give me, I will teach you. 1 hour, half an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, no problem for me. Okay. Happy weekend for all of you. Study well, ma. Don't neglect studies.